Hey everyone, Matron here, bringing you a new weekly recap. I know a lot of you are busy and don't always get to watch every day, and when you do, it's easiest to find the latest games. So I wanted to bring you a weekly recap video in the 5 to 6 minute range where I can let you know about the games I've cast this past week, which you might have missed. Hopefully you'll find this video useful and entertaining, and you can use it as a jumping off point if you're looking to watch some SC2. Please let me know whether this is something you'd like to see in the future. I'd hate for you to miss a good series or game just because you've been out of the loop for a few days. Let's get started. The first game we'll talk about is number 97, cast Saturday, November 20th, an epic showdown between Drewby and Minigun on Lost Temple. If you're a fan of long games and fortified positions which force both players to go to the air to drop and harass their opponent, all while maintaining large ground forces, this one's definitely for you. A huge battle with a mothership on one side, battlecruisers on the other is a must-see towards the end of the game. Both players struggle to keep their macro and spending under control throughout, and the winner can't be predicted till the very end. So a long, great game to check out, Drewby vs. Minigun. The next game we'll look at is number 98, one which many of you missed. It was cast Sunday, November 21st, and features Morrow vs. Slider. Morrow recently race changed to Zerg and now has to learn to deal with all the harassment the Zerg faced in the early game. Can he recover from the cannon pressure at his natural and the proxy Stargate? Morrow exhibits great control and micromanagement defending in the early going, but he may be too far behind to catch up. Check out game number 98, Morrow vs. Slider, to find out. A must-see for Zerg players. Next up, something new I'm trying, game number 99, the first episode of StarCraft 2 Provision, a match between Huck and Gosu. In this game, I've featured Huck's first-person view in a picture-in-picture format, so you can follow his camera and actions throughout the entire game. If you've ever been interested in how fast a pro's camera, hands, and brain can move during a game, this is a must-see. Be sure to check out how he constantly macros up back home, even when his army is in the most intense of battles, and how his decisions are based on the scouting information he gets. Aside from the Provision picture-in-picture, the game itself features a variety of encounters, from full-on army battles to proxy harassment. I'd love some feedback on this style of commentary, this being my first attempt. Check out game number 99, StarCraft 2 Provision, Huck vs. Gosu. Next, we'll preview a best-of-3 series between Foxer and OGS Xeno as part of the GOM TV Invitational Tournament prior to GSL Season 3. These games start with number 100. This series features aggressive pushes with small numbers of units and constant action throughout. Foxer uses his trademark Marine Micro and SCV pushes to punish Xeno in the early game, and Xeno counters like all good Zerg should, with Zerglings and Banelings hoping to out-micro Foxer and catch his Marines off guard. Both players feature stellar play in a matchup between the GSL2 runner-up Foxer and the man who knocked Idra out of GSL Season 2, OGS Xeno. In the end, one player proves he's no Tin Man. Be sure to check this series out, starting with game number 100. Another best-of-3 series is between Foxer and Fruit Dealer, GSL Season 1 winner, in the GOM TV All-Star Tournament. These games start with number 103. Foxer opens up with a very interesting Banshee strategy in the first part of this series. Will deviating from his Marine SCV rush cost him? Fruit Dealer, such a strong Zerg player, needs to be ready for anything if a player with the Micro Foxer starts getting creative. Later on, we see more classic Foxer Micro and Fruit Dealer countering with a Zergling Baneling. This one has an epic ending with massive Tier 1 armies going at it. The GSL Season 2 runner-up Foxer hopes to prove his worth against Season 1's champion Fruit Dealer. Check out this series starting with game number 103. The GOM TV All-Star Finals between Foxer and Keurig start with game number 106. Both players hope to use this tournament as a springboard for success in GSL Season 3. We see Foxer abandon his usual aggressive style, adopting a more macro and defensive-focused opening in the early going. He opens 1-on-1 and concentrates on getting tanks and Marines. This allows Keurig to macro up uncontested, something Zerg players hardly ever get to do. Whose large army will win out in the end? Will Foxer establish a firm position midfield and press into his opponent's base slowly but surely? Or will the macroing Zerg have too many units to handle? Later we see Foxer go back to his Thor play on Lost Temple, a map which most Zerg players hate for this very reason. Using drops and frontal attacks with Thors, can Foxer make himself this tournament's champion? or will Keurig knock off a heavyweight and give himself momentum going into GSL Season 3? Check out this series starting with game number 106. This next game, number 108, is between Kiwi-Kaki and Lelouch. Kiwi is one of my favorite Protoss players because of his creativity and varied build orders. Especially in the PvZ matchup, he always exercises new builds and unit compositions to confuse his enemies and control the pace of the game. This game on Metalopolis developed into a long macro one, with both players taking up to Tier 3. Kiwi opens with Void Rays and uses them to effectively harass and control the Zerg army. Lelouch puts pressure on constantly in the early game with his Hydra Roach army, then transitions to later tech to combat the growing Protoss Air Force. Kiwi gets very creative with his Void Ray usage, and eventually a Mothership gets added to the equation, and is used in a way I've never seen before. Check out game 108 if you are a fan of huge macro games and Kiwi's ever-impressive ingenuity. And that was the first weekly recap of MatronStarcraft games. There was a ton of good games to check out during the past week. Make sure you didn't miss any of the GOM TV series, the Provision Huck game, or the huge games between Druby Mini and Kiwi Lelouch. Please leave a comment and let me know what you thought of this style of video, whether it might serve as a helpful starting point for finding and viewing games. Comment or thumbs up to let me know what you think. As always, if you're looking for these games or other SC2 action, check out my channel MatronStarcraft at youtube.com. Thanks.